Well, these are the Eaton 45 monos, painted in hammered verde green, which is evidently a hard paint to get because they don't make it anymore. But if you're into audio for a length of time, this is where you end up. No circuit boards. He doesn't even put his name on the front of it. He did sign the bottom of each chassis. But the sound out of these is better than anything I've ever heard before. I've been to the Rocky Mountain Audio Fest, the Bay Area Audio Show, and it seems like the audio press and even YouTube now, their singular goal is to separate people with a lot of money from their money with some very well done marketing and advertising. Does the sound of that equipment mean anything? I think that's become secondary. But if you listen to something like these, through these clips, these are the RP600M, the first ones in piano black, which they don't make. But there's obviously some things that the big systems will do. But this is the kind of system that when you turn it on, you don't turn it off. It'll stay on the entire weekend. And you'll go through your entire music collection listening to everything over again because the tone, the reverberation, everything's completely different. And I've owned some pretty good stuff, and you would think with 3 watts the bass wouldn't be any good, but the bass is actually one of the best things about these. The bass seems completely separate from the rest of the music because of the tone and the tunefulness of it. Hard to describe. That's why this hobby can be so difficult, because everyone's hearing is slightly different. But if you listen enough, you'll realize that everything sounds slightly different. Vinyl, reel-to-reel, cassette, CD, and digital's awesome because it's basically free now with YouTube, Bluetooth in your car or what have you. So you can listen to music 24 hours a day now for essentially no money. Vinyl's worth it, cassette's worth it, reel-to-reel's worth it. If it's done right and it's music you really love, it's worth it. But, you know, reel-to-reel is really expensive. Vinyl is pretty expensive now. Vinyl and cassette was really cheap when it wasn't popular, but COVID, everybody sits down and listens to music. And it's gotten a little expensive now. So I bought these from Eaton. He made these for me. Also gave me this, which was nice of him. But I haven't even listened to these with vinyl yet. That's in the works. My source right now is a couple Walkmans and a couple iPods. But we're getting there. This is my secondary system. The main system's actually down right now. The other downside of high-end audio, they don't tell you what it costs to ship stuff back to the factory. But it's all part of the game. You know, if you love it, it's not a burden. It can be a lot of fun, especially when you find something like this. So if you go on Alan Eaton's website, he says he'll put these up against any amplifiers ever made. Sounds like hyperbole until you actually hear them play, and then you go, that might be the case, you know, when it comes to the mid-range where all the magic's at and the high frequencies. I've never heard anything better. And you could debate what tube's the best. This is a 45 mono. And the 300B is pretty good tube. The 2A3 is pretty good tube. And, you know, maybe you're just splitting hairs at this point. But do you want to pay tons and tons of money? That's why there's so much stuff for sale on AudioGone. And that's why there's maybe one Alan Eaton amp for sale right now. Because I think as audiophiles start to share information, you know, it's kind of like the legacy media going away. They're losing their grip, although they're doing a pretty good job on YouTube. You know, these $1 million systems, you know, I've got people believing if you paid $1 million for it, there's nothing better. Which I've heard quite a few stories of people who spend a lot of money and then they hear something like this and they get a little upset. Because you spend all the money in the world, that doesn't necessarily mean you got the best equipment in the world. But these are pretty awesome. These are the kind of things you buy and you just keep forever. You don't upgrade, because I don't know how you'd upgrade from these. You know, obviously if you want to rock the house, you want a bigger system in the living room or what have you. But for a bedroom system, or because on a certain music like Sade, I don't know how you beat these. I don't know how you better these. I mean, there's probably something out there, maybe, but do you want to mortgage your house? Because these are so impressive. I've yet to figure out exactly how good they are. But I'll do some more videos. We'll talk about wires, talk about vinyl, talk about CDs, digital streaming. Because it's pretty weird how, well, the magazine's all cratered in 08, 09. There's not been a negative review since. So you can basically assume if it doesn't get reviewed, it's not any good. But that's not necessarily the case, because the magazines have become a feedback loop of money. That's why the wire thing is so big, because there's a lot of money in it, I think. A lot of profit margin. But yeah, that's it. I'll do another video next week. Bye.